What we find is that there are a number of factors that play into why students leave high school. Algebra is a huge one. It's a huge stumbling block for students. They come into high school often with a fourth or a fifth grade level understanding of math. They can't multiply. They don't know their times tables. They can't divide. They can't do fractions.
Fraction and enter.
So for many students, algebra is the beginning of the end.
What you need to do, let's see.
Dolly Alfaro failed Algebra 1, 1A or 1B 6 times while she was at Birmingham. But what impressed me about Dolly was the fact that she wasn't willing to give up.
Math has always been a problem for me, so I passed like most of the classes, but algebra, failed it. The thing with algebra, I get the beginning of it. Once they go into like the 9th chapter, it's a blur for me. You could explain it to me like 10, 20, 30 times, I won't get it. I will not get it. I got called into the counseling office with my counselor, and she said, you're not going to graduate, it's not going to happen, I'm sorry, there's alternatives, and I was just like, I wasn't surprised myself.
Once a student leaves a school like Birmingham, there are clearly options out there available to them if they take advantage of them. There are continuation schools, which are small schools of maybe 100 students where they can get a lot of individual attention. There are independent study programs. There are vocational programs that are off campus. There are community colleges. So there are options out there, but often there's no one to direct students to those options. There's no one to hold a student's hand. There's no one to give them advice or give them counsel once they're out of the school.
The alternative program that I go to, West Valley, I think it's like really awesome, and it's just easier. You work at your own pace. Like let's say 1 month you have to study one thing, and if you don't get it, that's too bad for you because we're moving on. That's how high school is.
Do I still have to go to the math and then change it into a fraction?
It's better to be there because the teachers are there and they help you hands-on.
I think the prevailing concept of high school dropouts is one of young people hanging out on street corners. And while I think that is the case in some instances, what we found is that a lot of students leave Birmingham High School and go elsewhere to try to finish their education. They need another type of...
When I got pregnant, I was in sophomore year. I finished sophomore year. I got pregnant in April.
I have to be at work at 7:30. 7:30?
I knew my rights, and I knew that I could go back to Birmingham, but I just didn't want to because I didn't want kids looking at me pregnant.
There's an entire system of alternative schools that has sprung up to serve this population. The education there, though, is very uneven. There's not a lot of coordination between them. They're underfunded. Their teachers often lack specialized training. And the onus of responsibility falls right on the shoulders of the student. I have a great deal of respect for the students who are trying to finish, students who have children of their own. These are teenage parents who are sitting there with an algebra book in one hand and a baby on the other, trying to finish that algebra class.